but you can also see that it's not very straight. You can see that it's got a bow to it. And what I've got to do here is take down this high I can use my knee and kind of steady this. Here's one of the logs that, or not log, but board, and you can see, oh, this is probably about 3 inches thick. I don't know. Well, it's 2 3/4, 2.5 inches thick, and but you can also see that it's not very straight. You can see that it's got a bow to it. And what I've got to do here is take down this high point here. I've already started on that. And then take down this high point here to create a flat surface. So we can get this entire surface here flat. And then once we get this surface flat, then we'll take this and run it through the planer, and then flatten this surface to this surface. So we'll have equal thickness all along this board on both sides. So it'll be equal all the way around. And we'll probably end up with 2 inches maybe. I'm guessing. That's kind of what I've been running into, is about 2 inches finished thickness, which is 8/4, and which is a good size to work with. I could actually resaw that down if I wanted to, and have twice as many boards. But I'll show you how I get started on taking these high areas down. And if you don't have a bench like this and you're starting out a wood shop, you need to make a bench like this. This is an excellent bench for this kind of stuff. What I've done here is I've screwed on a block, a stop block basically, and this stop block lets me put this board up against something so that I can work. See, now I can push on this. I can push on this board, and this bench will hold it in position for me. So I'll show you how I go about it here. I use the electric planer, and I use the hand plane as well in certain situations. What you see me doing here is using my knee to actually support this, or not support this, but to hold this board in position. I can sit on it and do the same thing. See, I can sit on it. Now you can see that this is kind of like one uniform cut now, and that means I've brought this down a certain amount here, and we're probably getting close to the same level as all of this. So we'll see. We're getting close. There's a little bit of rock left in that, as you can see right there. I like to put it right on my workbench. There's not a whole lot of rock there, but you can see that there's a gap here, so this is still kind of concaved, you know, so it's not flat all the way across, but the ends are flat. There's just a little bit of rock in this now, and I have a remedy for that. You can see at that one corner I pointed at. We'll add a spacer to that corner, and then we'll attach this to a sled, and then we can run this through the planer. I use CA glue to attach this spacer to the board. I've seen others that use hot glue. You'll have to figure out what works best for you. This is a quick process and it doesn't stick permanently. The hot glue, I imagine, is pretty much the same way. It holds it enough, but it doesn't stick permanently. Now you can see I'm running this through the planer on the sled. It's just a board that I have that's pretty flat, and this allows me to run it through the planer and not have the spacer catch on the bed of the planer. After quite a few passes, I feel that this is flat enough. We'll take a look and see. I have removed the board from the sled, as you can see, and I'm checking it for flatness, and it appears to be pretty flat. This is the next board. I believe this is the last one that I have. And we're doing the same process. As you can see the rough area, and then you can see the area that has been cut. I'm at a break right there at this point to clear out the chips, because it removes a large number of chips when you're planing boards these sizes. A few more passes and I should have this cleaned up. You can see that the rough area is getting smaller, but a little more cleanup in the hose and dust collector area. This got to be a little bit annoying, but I make do with it. We're getting close now. As you can see that the rough area is getting smaller and smaller. I think we've got it. And there you have it. That board's nice and flat. There's no rocking in it. I just have to clean up this other side and we'll be done with it. Now it's on to the bandsaw, where I remove one rough edge or live edge. Once I remove the live edge from one side, then we can take that to the jointer
and flatten that edge. And we'll make sure that the edge is perpendicular to the face. We have the face flat, so we want the edge to match up with the face. Now it's on to the jointer. We'll give these boards a few passes on the face on the jointer just to make sure. And then we'll go to the edge. And I'm using a square to see if the edge is perpendicular to the face. I usually make rough passes first, not placing the board against the fence. And after those few rough passes, then I'll put the board against the fence. Another check with the square for another board, and now we're on to the table saw. We have the edge nice and square, and now we have something to run against the fence on the table saw. This ensures that we have a parallel board, or makes both edges equal to each other. Now I have to clean up the ends of the boards, and I'll do that on the miter saw here. Some of the boards are wider than what my saw blade can handle, but as you see, I've got a technique that allows me to cut a wider board just by lifting it. But I just want to clean the ends up on these boards just to get rid of the rough end. Once I clean the ends up on these boards, I will be done with this. These boards will be ready for a project, whatever I choose. And they didn't cost me anything, just a little time. I'll check the ends with the square like I did the edges, and to see how square they are. Everything looks good. This is pretty satisfying to mill your own boards from logs that you find in your own yard.
Well, this is what it looks like after all the milling work that I did on these logs from the backyard. And I think I got some beautiful boards for small craft, projects, that type of thing. Or I could purchase something to go with this, some maple or something, and incorporate this into a project. But you can see they're nice and flat. We got nice crisp edges. Everything looks good. The process isn't that simple. You just have to go through the steps, that it takes to mill up your boards that you might cut with a chainsaw, But that's it for this week, and thank you for watching. Thanks to all my subscribers. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing to the channel. Hit the like button. That helps the algorithm. And share the video. Also, hit the bell notification, and you'll be notified when I upload a new video.